Listen carefully. This moment carries weight. This is not folklore, and this is not superstition. This is alignment through prayer, discipline, and faith. What unfolds here rests on principles that shape the inner world first, and only then allow the outer world to respond. I am Shi Heng Yi. Today, a deeper truth comes into focus. Prayer works when the mind is ordered and the intention is clear. Most people rush through prayer with scattered thoughts and weak expectation. That approach creates little movement and no lasting change. In this message, confusion gives way to clarity. You will learn how focused prayer builds alignment, why timing matters more than force, and why calm certainty opens doors that struggle never can. Ancient wisdom and spiritual law agree on this point. When the mind settles, the path opens. When intention sharpens, resistance dissolves. Many people fail not because faith is absent, but because the foundation is missing. They seek provision without discipline and results without alignment. This video reveals the link that is rarely explained and even more rarely practiced. Remain here until the end. The final understanding completes the message and reshapes the way prayer functions. Miss it, and the truth remains partial. Receive it, and the inner posture shifts permanently. This teaching centers on faith rooted in stillness, on prayer spoken with authority rather than desperation, on alignment that allows provision to move naturally and without strain. Few encounter this knowledge, fewer apply it correctly. Welcome to Shaolin Divine Flow, a space where discipline meets faith and ancient wisdom guides modern life. Subscribe to the channel and walk this path with us as prayer takes on a deeper meaning. Pause for a moment. January 23rd carries a quiet intensity that many overlook. Time moves with rhythm, and not every day invites the same level of awareness. Certain moments naturally sharpen focus and reduce distraction, and this day stands among them with a subtle but powerful presence. Spiritually, timing influences readiness. When intention aligns with awareness, the mind becomes more receptive. On January 23rd, reflection deepens without force, discipline feels lighter, and attention gathers instead of scattering. This is not coincidence, and it is not superstition. It is alignment. Across spiritual traditions, specific days strengthen focus and commitment, not through mystery, but through inner order. As awareness rises, resistance softens. This day encourages stillness before action and invites a pause that resets direction. Many sense a greater sensitivity to inner guidance during such moments. Thoughts slow, clarity sharpens. Expectation also shifts on this day. It becomes calm rather than rushed, grounded rather than desperate. Expectation rooted in patience carries strength. It prepares the inner posture required for receiving. January 23rd supports this posture naturally, without strain. Obedience becomes easier when the mind settles. Not blind obedience, but conscious obedience. Listening carefully, responding with clarity. Focus strengthens when fewer inner conflicts compete for attention. Energy gathers, intention narrows, and purpose becomes clear. This is why prayer spoken on January 23rd carries weight, not because the words change, but because the inner state changes. When awareness, focus, and expectation align, faith moves from theory into action. Prayer shifts from repetition into connection. Intention gains direction and preparation begins. Provision rarely arrives through predictable paths. God's pattern has never followed human logic or careful calculation. Help often appears at the moment certainty fades, when control loosens and trust deepens. History shows this again and again. Doors open without warning. Support comes from directions never considered. Timing defies expectation, yet arrives with precision. This happens because fate reshapes perception before circumstances change. When reliance shifts from effort alone to trust, resistance dissolves. The mind stops forcing outcomes and becomes receptive. In that space, movement begins. Blessings flow through channels unseen, guided by wisdom beyond planning. Money itself is not the source, it is a response. God remains the source, and provision follows alignment. When this truth settles deeply, anxiety loses its grip. The heart steadies. Actions become calmer. Decisions gain clarity. Provision responds to this inner order. Focused prayer plays a key role here. Not long hours filled with scattered thought, but moments of full presence. 10 minutes of undivided attention carries more power than restless repetition. When prayer becomes focused, intention sharpens and inner noise fades. Before receiving, fear must loosen. Fear signals distrust. Doubt delays movement. Releasing these states clears the inner path. This is not denial, it is choosing faith over panic. Calm confidence allows space for response. Prayer spoken with certainty carries authority, not demand, not desperation. Quiet trust. Words spoken from this place align with truth rather than need. They carry weight because they reflect belief, not lack. Gratitude often comes before visible change. Thankfulness signals readiness. It shifts attention from absence to trust. This shift activates expectancy without pressure. Provision may not appear as cash at first. It may arrive as insight, opportunity, or connection. A message, a meeting, a decision. Each movement matters. Staying alert becomes essential. After prayer, stillness remains important. Rushing interferes. Calm observation allows guidance to surface. Obedience follows awareness, and awareness grows in silence. Faith continues working even when emotions fluctuate, because truth does not depend on feeling. Money responds to direction. It does not lead. When this understanding settles, pressure begins to dissolve. God remains the source, constant and steady, while money simply follows the path created by alignment. Confusing the tool for the source creates strain. Recognizing the source restores peace. When reliance shifts toward God, decisions change. Actions become intentional rather than reactive. The mind stops chasing and starts aligning. This alignment opens channels that effort alone cannot access. Money moves where order exists, not where panic rules. Focused prayer strengthens this order. 10 minutes of calm attention aligns intention with trust. Distraction weakens impact, while presence amplifies it. In stillness, clarity forms. In clarity, direction appears. Fear often interferes at this stage. Fear insists on control. Doubt questions timing. Both block flow. Releasing these states does not require force, only awareness. Trust replaces tension. Confidence replaces urgency. Prayer spoken from alignment sounds different. It carries calm authority rather than pleading. It reflects certainty rooted in faith. Such prayer does not push. It allows. Gratitude plays a subtle role here. Thankfulness shifts attention towards sufficiency. It trains the mind to recognize support already present. This recognition signals readiness for more. Provision responds to this posture, sometimes slowly, sometimes suddenly, often through unexpected means. Opportunities surface. Conversations shift. Ideas arrive with clarity. Staying alert becomes essential. Money may arrive disguised as guidance or timing. Obedience follows recognition. Responding promptly maintains flow. After prayer, restraint matters. Overthinking disrupts alignment. Silence preserves it. Observing without interference allows direction to unfold naturally. Faith remains steady even when emotions fluctuate. Alignment holds regardless of mood. God's provision operates beyond feeling, guided by order and trust rather than urgency. Focused prayer changes the inner environment. 10 uninterrupted minutes may appear small, yet within that space, attention gathers and faith strengthens. Distraction weakens intention, while stillness sharpens it. When the mind settles on a single purpose, clarity begins to form naturally. Uninterrupted prayer creates order. Thoughts slow down. Emotional noise softens. The heart becomes receptive. In this state, prayer shifts from words into connection. Faith deepens not through effort, but through presence. Many underestimate this simplicity. They rush through prayer while the mind remains scattered. Focus restores depth. 10 minutes of full attention outweigh hours of distracted repetition. Within that time, awareness aligns with trust. Silence plays a vital role. Pauses between words allow understanding to surface. Guidance often arrives in these quiet spaces. The mind listens rather than insists. Faith grows through listening. Clarity follows focus. When distractions fade, intention becomes precise. prayer gains direction. The inner posture stabilizes. This stability supports confidence without strain. Fear weakens in stillness. Doubt loses momentum when attention remains steady. Calm certainty replaces urgency. Faith rooted in calm carries strength. Consistency matters more than intensity. Returning to focused prayer builds rhythm. Over time, alignment strengthens. Trust becomes familiar. Expectation steadies. After prayer, restraint preserves clarity. Overthinking disrupts it. Silence allows insights to settle. Awareness sharpens when action waits. Provision responds to this clarity. Movement begins quietly. Decisions align. Opportunities surface naturally. Focused prayer prepares the inner ground. Faith continues working beyond the moment of prayer. Even when emotions fluctuate, alignment holds. Trust remains active because clarity has taken root. Fear and doubt often stand quietly at the doorway of receiving. They do not announce themselves loudly. They appear as hesitation, overthinking, or constant concern about outcomes. These states create inner resistance, and resistance slows movement. Removing them begins with awareness, not force. Fear grows from the need to control. Doubt grows from mistrust in timing. Both pull attention away from alignment. When the mind tightens, faith weakens. When the heart relaxes, faith steadies. Releasing fear does not mean ignoring reality. It means choosing trust over tension. Stillness exposes these inner blocks. In quiet moments, resistance becomes visible. Thoughts repeat. Worries surface. This awareness is the first step toward release. Naming fear loosens its grip. Observing doubt reduces its power. Faith strengthens when the mind stops arguing with itself. Inner conflict drains energy. Agreement restores flow. Choosing belief does not require emotion, it requires decision. Calm commitment carries more power than emotional intensity. Fear also distorts perception. It focuses attention on lack rather than provision. Doubt questions worthiness rather than readiness. Shifting attention back to trust restores balance. God's provision does not respond to panic. It responds to openness. Prayer supports this release. Speaking calmly settles the nervous system. Breathing slows. The body responds to trust. As tension fades, clarity returns. This clarity prepares the inner space for movement. Letting go happens gradually, not all at once. Each moment of trust weakens resistance. Each act of surrender strengthens alignment. Over time, fear loses influence. Expectation changes when doubt fades. It becomes steady rather than anxious. Confidence grows without urgency. This state invites response. After prayer, remain gentle with thoughts. Harsh judgment recreates resistance. Soft awareness preserves openness. Faith flows best through calm attention, allowing receiving to become natural rather than forced. Prayer carries power when spoken from authority, not desperation. Begging signals doubt, worry, and urgency. It reflects a heart seeking control rather than alignment. Confident prayer, on the other hand, comes from knowing the source is steady and provision flows through order, not panic. Speaking with calm authority shifts energy. It opens channels that pleading never can. Confidence in prayer begins within. It does not rely on volume or repetition. It rests in clarity, trust, and steady intention. When words emerge from this place, they carry weight. They move beyond requests into alignment with purpose. God responds to presence more than pressure. Faith expressed calmly resonates with natural order. Begging often repeats need without focus. It loops on lack. Desperate prayer emphasizes absence. Confident prayer emphasizes readiness. It acknowledges sufficiency while inviting fulfillment. It speaks not to convince but to align. The difference may seem subtle, but it determines how the inner space receives blessing. Focus enhances this effect. Speaking with clarity sharpens intention. Short, deliberate words replace scattered thoughts. The mind becomes quiet, receptive, and alert. Authority in prayer does not demand, it affirms. It reflects trust, not doubt. It aligns speech with expectation rather than fear. Gratitude complements confident prayer. Recognizing provision already present strengthens authority. It signals readiness. It communicates trust. This posture prepares for the arrival of help, whether obvious or subtle. Desperate prayer often anticipates delay. Confident prayer trusts timing. It allows movement to unfold naturally. It observes signs and response. It carries attention without tension. It expects provision without panic. After speaking, stillness preserves power. Silence allows clarity to solidify. The mind notices guidance. Opportunities surface. Faith continues working quietly even when outcomes are not immediate. Confident prayer becomes a bridge between intention and reception, steadying the heart while aligning with divine flow. Gratitude shifts energy. It transforms the mind from lack to abundance before anything appears. Thankfulness signals readiness. It tells the inner self that provision is welcomed, not forced. Gratitude opens space for miracles to arrive, activating expectancy and trust. It is not an afterthought, but the first step in receiving. When the heart feels grateful, faith deepens, the mind settles, anxiety softens. Gratitude rewires focus from worry to awareness, from fear to confidence. In this state, prayer carries greater authority. Words flow from calm certainty rather than tension. The inner posture aligns with the source, and movement follows naturally. Gratitude also sharpens perception. Subtle opportunities, quiet guidance, and hidden blessings become more visible. Small signs that might have been overlooked stand out clearly. Doors that seemed closed begin to open. Awareness strengthens because expectation is grounded in trust, not impatience. Many seek miracles while overlooking the power of thanks. They wait for change before appreciating the present. This reverses natural order. True expectancy arises when gratitude precedes reward. Recognizing what already exists cultivates receptivity. It signals to the universe and to the soul that readiness is established. Even in silence, gratitude communicates. It carries intention without words. It creates alignment in heart, mind, and spirit. This alignment softens resistance and strengthens faith. The inner self becomes a vessel prepared to receive. Gratitude also tempers desire with patience. It removes urgency and replaces it with calm attention. Trust grows stronger when expectation is framed by thanks rather than demand. Faith becomes steady. Anticipation becomes peaceful. As prayer concludes, continue with thankfulness. Notice the subtle shifts within. Observe opportunities, guidance, and inspiration as they appear. Gratitude before the miracle ensures that when provision arrives, the heart is ready to recognize it fully and the mind is open to receive it completely. Blessings rarely arrive exactly as expected. They often appear in forms beyond cash or material gain. Opportunities, guidance, help from others, or sudden ideas can carry the same power as money. Learning to recognize these movements expands perception and prepares the heart to receive fully. Focusing only on cash narrows awareness and limits the flow of provision. When prayer aligns with faith, movement begins quietly. Doors open in subtle ways. Conversations shift. Unexpected opportunities arise. A single idea may spark action that leads to abundance. These signs may seem small at first, but they carry enormous potential. The universe moves in patterns that are not always visible, and recognizing them requires patience and attentiveness. Expecting only money can create disappointment, but expecting movement fosters receptivity. Guidance, insight, and support often precede material results. These forms of blessing carry lessons, networks, and timing that ensure lasting provision. Understanding this prepares the mind to act wisely, not impulsively, and encourages faith to remain steady even when tangible results appear delayed. Preparation and observation matter. Blessings follow alignment, not force. When a door opens, step through with awareness. When an opportunity appears, respond with clarity. Each small movement signals that the current of provision is flowing. Awareness transforms ordinary moments into channels of abundance. This mindset also shifts intention from seeking to receiving. When the heart expects movement, it notices patterns and possibilities that would otherwise go unseen. Faith becomes active, scanning for subtle guidance rather than waiting passively. Confidence grows because provision is recognized in multiple forms, not just as immediate cash. Remaining alert without urgency allows these blessings to multiply. Actions taken in alignment with guidance attract further opportunities. Help arrives at the right moment. Ideas spark success. Every movement becomes a stepping stone, demonstrating that abundance often begins quietly and unfolds in ways far beyond expectation. After prayer, silence becomes powerful. The mind often wants to rush, to check results, or to force outcomes, yet movement flows most clearly through calm observation. Staying still allows awareness to notice subtle shifts that would otherwise pass unnoticed. Guidance often speaks softly, and only a quiet mind can hear it. Obedience follows naturally from this calm attention. When the heart is open and alert, intuitive directions appear. These may be small steps, an unexpected call, a timely decision, or a gentle nudge toward action. Responding promptly to these signs honors alignment and allows provision to flow without interruption. Haste, worry, or doubt can block this movement, even after prayer has been offered with sincerity. Silence is not emptiness, it is readiness. It signals trust and patience. The mind settles and the heart opens to receive. Observing without judgment allows patterns to emerge. Opportunities, guidance, and support often arrive in forms that are easy to overlook if attention is scattered. Awareness becomes a bridge between intention and reception. Obedience strengthens faith. Acting when guidance appears reinforces trust in timing and alignment. Each small step confirms that prayer has set motion and the response is unfolding as it should. Faith grows quietly through consistent observation and mindful action, not through constant questioning or worry. Remaining calm also preserves energy. Emotional turbulence dissipates focus, while stillness nurtures clarity. The inner posture created during prayer continues to hold even after words have ended. Silence allows lessons to settle, insights to emerge, and the heart to prepare for further movement. Provision flows through readiness, not insistence. By staying silent and obedient, the mind aligns with divine timing. Opportunities are recognized. Help is received gracefully. Ideas spark action. Movement continues naturally, guided by awareness and grounded in faith, ensuring that the fruits of prayer are realized fully and harmoniously. Faith is not built on feelings. Emotions rise and fall, but consistency in practice creates lasting alignment. Prayer repeated with intention, even when the heart feels heavy or distracted, strengthens the connection between trust and action. Moments of doubt or fatigue do not erase progress. They reveal the need for steady commitment. Consistency creates rhythm. The mind learns to recognize alignment even when excitement fades. The heart becomes conditioned to focus rather than react. Repeated practice embeds faith in action rather than emotion. This is why even brief, calm sessions of prayer hold more power than sporadic bursts fueled by passion alone. The quiet, steady effort forms a foundation that feels unshakable over time. Weak feelings are not failure, they are part of the process. Faith persists quietly, sustaining itself through routine and dedication. Even when the mind questions or the heart hesitates, alignment continues. Trust does not require constant enthusiasm. It requires presence and discipline. Small, consistent steps carry greater impact than occasional intensity. Consistency also cultivates patience. Results may not appear immediately, yet each act of faithful attention prepares the inner environment. The soul becomes receptive. Opportunities emerge naturally. Provision begins to flow through channels established by repeated alignment rather than by sudden emotion. Routine strengthens expectation. The mind learns to anticipate support without panic or desperation. Faith becomes steady because it relies on principle, not on temporary feelings. Each practice reinforces trust in timing, process, and source. Even when the world feels uncertain or the heart feels weak, the act of consistent prayer sustains connection. Movement continues, subtle and persistent. Opportunities, guidance, and blessings appear along the path laid by repeated alignment. Faith grows quietly, demonstrating that devotion anchored in consistency carries power far beyond the reach of fleeting emotion. Now, take a deep breath and prepare your heart. Together, let us enter this moment of focused prayer. Calm your mind. Release all fear and doubt. Speak from trust, not need. Feel gratitude rise before your words. Invite God's presence fully and know that provision is already moving toward you. Allow yourself to be still, to listen, and to receive. As you pray, remain present. Notice the subtle signs, the quiet guidance, the gentle opportunities that unfold. Trust in the process. Trust in timing. Trust in the source. Each word spoken with faith carries weight. Each moment of stillness strengthens alignment. Let this practice anchor your heart in certainty and expectancy. If this message lifted your spirit and strengthened your faith, please like the video and subscribe to Shaolin Divine Flow. Join our community of seekers who are learning to align, receive, and grow in trust each day. Share this moment with those who need encouragement and carry the energy of faith into your life. Remember this, your breakthrough is already in motion. Speak with authority, trust the process, and allow miracles to flow naturally. Stay ready, stay patient, and watch as alignment transforms your world. Your faith is alive, and your provision is closer than you think.